Cześć, dzień dobry. Welcome to another Polish lesson. So today we will learn some ways to use the verb mieć. So mieć usually means to have, but today we will look at different ways to use this verb, and I'll show you phrases that we Polish people use all the time. So let's get started. Zaczynajmy. So the first way to use mieć is to use it as the verb to have. So for example, we could say mam dzisiaj wolne. Mam dzisiaj wolne, which means today I am off work, or today I have a day off work. Another way to say the same thing would be dzisiaj nie idę do pracy. Dzisiaj nie idę do pracy. Today I am not going to work. And another example of mieć could be mam ochotę wyjść na spacer. Mam ochotę wyjść na spacer, which means I feel like going for a walk. So mam ochotę, I feel like. And after mieć, meaning to have, comes the accusative case. And that's why when we say mam ochotę, ochota, which is the nominative case of like a wanting, we could say in English, gets the ending of ochota is changed to ochotę. That's in the accusative case. So mam ochotę, because ochota is in the accusative case. Ochota is a feminine noun in the nominative case. We could also say ona nie ma dużo czasu. Ona nie ma dużo czasu. She doesn't have a lot of time. So these are just really simple examples of how to use the verb mieć. If we just want to conjugate it really quickly, it would be mam, masz, ma, on ma, ona ma, my mamy, wy macie, oni, one mają. So that's the present tense. So moving on to another way that we could use the verb mieć is when we have the phrase nie ma. And I'll show you what I mean by this, because it's not, as we said before, ona nie ma, which means she doesn't have, but nie ma could also be used another way. So nie ma means there isn't. So I'll show you a few examples. Czy jest chleb w domu? Czy jest chleb w domu? Is there bread at home? Czy jest chleb w domu? Nie, nie ma. Nie, nie ma, which means no, there isn't. We could say nie, nie ma chleba w domu. Nie ma chleba w domu. And notice here that chleb, which was in the nominative case when we had the question czy jest chleb, now actually gets converted, we could say, into the genitive case, because it's like the negation of jest. So nie ma chleba, and chleba is now in the genitive case. Czy jest chleb w domu? Nie, nie ma. Zjedliśmy cały. No, there isn't. We ate the whole bread, we could say, or we ate all of it. So now we will add some personal pronouns to these sentences, and these will be again in the genitive case. So there we already have a lesson on the genitive case. Another one will be coming up soon as well. But just to let you know that if you are not familiar at all with this case, then we do have a lesson on that, so you can check it out. It's in the description below. And in case you didn't know, we also create worksheets for you based on our lessons, and there's always a link in the description to these worksheets, so you might want to check these out as well. Okay, so now back to the phrase nie ma. So let's take a very simple example. On jest tutaj. On jest tutaj. He is here. And now if we want to say he is not here, we would say nie ma go tutaj. Nie ma go tutaj. So on which was the nominative case of he, now gets converted into go, which is the genitive case of the same personal pronoun. So on gets switched to go. Nie ma go tutaj. He is not here. For those of you who are thinking that this kind of structure is quite strange, I don't really know how to translate it literally into English, but it's gonna sound really stupid when I say this, but if I really did want to translate it literally, it would be there isn't him here. There isn't him. On nie ma go tutaj. So you could say nie ma go tutaj. Może gdzieś wyszedł. Nie ma go tutaj. Chyba gdzieś wyszedł. He is not here. Perhaps he went out somewhere. Nie ma go tutaj. Może gdzieś wyszedł. We can actually have two different ways to say the same thing. So you can say, for example, nie jestem teraz w domu. Nie jestem teraz w domu. I am not at home now. But you can also say, nie ma mnie teraz w domu. Nie ma mnie teraz w domu. Again, I am not at home now. So, nie jestem gets switched to nie ma mnie. Nie ma mnie. And mnie, again, is the personal pronoun in the genitive case of ja. Just a quick break to remind you and let you know that if you are enjoying our lessons and if they're making your language learning process a little bit easier, a little bit more pleasant, then we would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, if you liked our videos, if you do like them, because we really do put a lot of effort into making them, and it's going to be extra motivation for us to keep going. So thanks again, dziękuję bardzo, and now back to the lesson. Now let's take a look at other personal pronouns. So you could say ty nie jesteś w domu. Ty nie jesteś w domu. Nie ma ciebie w domu. Nie ma ciebie w domu. On nie jest w domu. Nie ma go. So this is the example that we had before. Nie ma go w domu. Then we have ona nie jest w domu. Nie ma jej w domu. Nie ma jej w domu. My nie jesteśmy w domu. Nie ma nas w domu. So we are not at home. We can say two ways. My nie jesteśmy w domu and nie ma nas w domu. And again, nas is the personal pronoun used in the genitive case. So my is the nominative case, nas is the genitive case. And next we could say wy nie jesteście w domu. Wy nie jesteście w domu. Nie ma was w domu. Nie ma was w domu. So you, plural, you guys, for example, are not at home. Nie ma was w domu. And lastly, one nie są w domu. Or oni nie są w domu. They are not at home. Nie ma ich w domu. Nie ma ich w domu. So in this case, even though in the nominative case we have oni or one, which is the mixed form or just the masculine form, when it's in the genitive case, we actually just have one form. No matter if it's a mixed group or just a masculine group, we always have ich. Nie ma ich w domu. I could probably give you many more examples of how to use nie ma, but I don't want to go into too much detail because there is also a third way that is also very common in terms of using mieć. So this is number 3. So now take a look at this sentence. We could say, dzisiaj moja siostra miała być w domu, ale chyba wyszła. Dzisiaj moja siostra miała być w domu, ale chyba wyszła. Can you work out what this means? Dzisiaj moja siostra miała być w domu. So this part of the sentence means today my sister was supposed to be at home. So when you have the past tense of mieć, it also gets used as was supposed to in Polish. So dzisiaj moja siostra miała być w domu. Today my sister was supposed to be at home, ale chyba wyszła. But like probably, maybe, likely she left, she went out. And notice that here miała is of course the past tense of mieć. So if we go through each conjugation, it will be ja miałam or ja miałem, ty miałaś, miałeś, on miał, ona miała, my mieliśmy, my miałyśmy, wy mieliście, wy miałyście, and oni mieli, one miały. So the past tense has different endings depending on the gender. So it's a little bit more complex, maybe more confusing. But in this particular sentence, which I just showed you, miała, again, doesn't mean that she had, but that she was supposed to. So the meaning is a little bit different. Let's take a look at another example. Jutro o 9 rano mam być na spotkaniu. Jutro o 9 rano mam być na spotkaniu. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., 9 in the morning, I am supposed to be in a meeting. So even though now we have mam być, which is the present tense mam, I have, in this particular sentence it means that I am supposed to be. So I think looking at the context, you're able to kind of work out if the mam or the miałam or ma, mieliśmy, or whichever form that you use, if it actually means to have or to be supposed to. But we can also translate this sentence jutro o 9 rano mam być na spotkaniu, not as I'm supposed to be, but I have to be. So as you can see, it does have this have element in it. And other maybe shorter sentences, we could say masz to zrobić. Masz to zrobić, which means you have to do it. You have to do it. Masz to zrobić. Miałeś to zrobić. Miałeś to zrobić. You were supposed to do it. Meaning, miałeś to zrobić, ale nie zrobiłeś. So you were supposed to do it, but you didn't do it. Miałeś to zrobić, ale nie zrobiłeś. Or if you're saying this to a woman, miałaś to zrobić, ale nie zrobiłaś. You were supposed to do it, but you didn't. To ma być zrobione na jutro. To ma być zrobione na jutro. This has to be done by tomorrow, or this is supposed to be done by tomorrow. And a final example for this lesson, we could ask, czy jest coś, co masz zrobić na jutro? Czy jest coś, co masz zrobić na jutro? Can you work out what this means, maybe? Is there something that you are supposed to do for tomorrow? Is there something that you're supposed to do for tomorrow, or that you have to do for tomorrow? But if you want to ask this question differently, for instance, you could say, czy jest coś, co powinieneś, or powinnaś zrobić na jutro? Or czy jest coś, co musisz zrobić na jutro. So powinieneś or powinnaś is, again, it's kind of like you're supposed to or you should. And musisz is that you have to or you must. And finally, czy jest coś, co trzeba zrobić na jutro? Czy jest coś, co trzeba zrobić na jutro? Is there something that has to be done by tomorrow? So trzeba doesn't necessarily have to do with a specific person. Trzeba is like that one does have to do it or that something should be done, but it's not really specific to one person, we could say. So I know I didn't really cover everything that could be covered with mieć, but I just wanted to give you like a brief overview of how else we can use mieć, not just meaning to have, but there are also other ways. I hope you found it helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.